Hi everyone, this is Emmy from mehartgallery.etsy.com, and I'm here today in partnership with favecrafts.com to show you how to make this spiral bracelet. And you can make it as a necklace also. You just make it longer, and it's very easy to do, and I'm going to get started and show you how to do that. So first we'll run through the supplies that we're going to need. So you're going to need a ruler if you want to absolutely measure your pieces. I usually just do it by eye, but if you really want to measure, you have a ruler. You're going to need some round nose pliers, and we're going to need some flat pliers. And of course we're going to need some 20 gauge wire and a few beads of your choice. Now this bracelet consists of two components. One is just simply the bead. Let me just find one that's easy to see here. One is simply the bead, and it's just placed on a wire and has a loop at each end. And the other is the scroll. And so it's just a matter of making scrolls, and then the bead with the loop on each end, and then you just connect them. And then I've just added on this one just little focal section where I've made a longer piece of wire with each loop on the end, and I've just put one odd bead, not the same as what is already on the bracelet, just to give it a little bit of interest. And these are not bracelets with clasps. You simply slide it on your hand like that when it's done. Okay, so we're going to get started. So what you need for this section with the bead is about 1 inch of wire, and what you're going to need for your scroll section is about a 4-inch piece of wire. So you can go ahead and cut your pieces of wire. You can cut them all ahead of time if you like, but I've gone ahead and I've cut one piece of wire 4 inches long. And so before I start my scroll, I'm going to be winding in one direction, and I'm going to be winding in the other direction on the other end of the wire. But I like to end my scroll right in the center of my wire. So you could either measure it and mark it somehow, whichever way you would like, but I usually like to just kind of guesstimate where the center of the wire is, and I just bring the two ends together, and I make sure I pinch it there a little bit just to make a little mark. So then I can open them up, open the wire up, but I can still see that I have a little crimp here. And so I'm going to start my scroll and go to that very first scrimp for the first scroll. So to start our scroll, we pinch our wire about halfway down the nose of the pliers, and we make a tight little loop like that. And just bring it closed totally here. Okay, and then we can start winding the wire against itself. But we can only go that far, because then we're going to start pinching on that side wire. So now we're just going to grasp that loop in our flat pliers, and we're going to go with the motion of grasping and turning with the other hand. So we grasp in the pliers, we turn with the other hand. So we just continue that motion of grasping and winding, and so what you're doing is you're winding the wire on beside itself there. And we're going to go right to that little crimp that we made. Okay? So there we are. We've got this scroll made. So now we're going to make this one. And we're going to go in the opposite direction. So we're going to scroll down this way so we have an S shape to our scroll. Okay? So again, we're going to grasp the wire about halfway down and make one tight loop, and then we can start winding, and then switch to the flat pliers, and again grasp and wind, grasp and wind, grasp and wind. And if you wanted to leave a space between your scrolls, you could do that too. You could stop your scroll there if you liked. You could have an open scroll. But I'm just going to close it up for this demonstration. Okay, I'll close it up a little bit more. Okay, so that's your scroll section. And so the other section is for the bead. And to do that, all we do is make a loop on one end of our wire, pull it back to center it on the stem, like that. We're going to place our bead on the wire. Oh, that bead didn't have a hole in it. Okay. And have a little bit too much wire. Make a loop. Straighten it out to center it on the bead. So now it's just a matter of making as many as you need, and you just link them together. You open your, I'll show you that. You open your jump ring sideways. You place your scroll on it. And then you just close your jump ring. So it's just continuous adding one scroll and one bead, and one scroll and one bead, and then you wind up with this lovely bracelet. And that's all there is to making this fancy scrolled beaded bracelet. And thanks for watching. This is brought to you today by favecrafts.com, where you can get lots of free patterns to make all types of crafts. So please drop by the site sometime, and thanks for watching.